Hi everybody, my name is Jessica and I'm a final year student in the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education in DCU. I'm going to give a quick presentation tonight, just a little bit about the course, how it runs, some of the different modules that you'll cover when you're doing the course. If at any point during the presentation you have any questions, or if you find you want to ask me any questions later on after the presentation, you can pop those into the chat here. I've just put up a message. And you can ask them either in the chat and I'll answer them here while we're doing the presentation, or if you want to ask questions after the presentation or in a few weeks' time, I've put a link in here that you can send me a message on Unibuddy and I can answer any questions later on there. I'm going to get started with the presentation, and as I'm going through, I'm going to shorten Bachelor of Early Childhood Education to BECE. So if you hear me say BECE, it just means Bachelor of Early Childhood Education. So, in DCU's Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, it's a 4-year degree, it's an undergraduate degree, and when you graduate, you're going to graduate with a level 8. A lot of the time that you spend in this course is going to be out on placement, gaining practical experience. We spend about 216 hours every year, so first, second, third, and fourth year, you're going to spend a lot of time out on placement, and then the rest of the year you'll spend in classes, building on all of your academic knowledge, and then you can bring that with you and gain that practical experience for when you graduate. The main aim that our lecturers try and get across within this degree is that they want to develop well-informed, articulate professionals who are passionate about and hold a professional stance on key issues in early childhood education and care. All of our lecturers all have a lot of experience within this profession. They have all worked in the sector before, and they all still dip in and out. They would have different stances in policy. They would aim to do research and try and develop the sector further, and they always try and help us to get involved in those things as well. So generally within the course, we build a stance in first year, and then we build on all of that information as you continue on. So in the first year of this course, you focus on core information from 0 to 5 years old, trying to focus on child development, getting an understanding of the sector, getting an understanding of different curriculums, mainly looking at the one in Ireland in first year, so that you have a good base when you go out on placement for the first time, that you know what's going on before you step into placement. In second year, to build on that, they focus on the environment within the classroom. So they want to make sure that we know how to create a safe setting, that we create a fun setting, and environments that are going to support children as they start to grow up. Building on that again in third year, we focus on diversity, equality, and inclusion. So we want to make sure that every child is included, every child gets the same opportunity, because education is a right for all children in this country, and how to ensure that children are supported as much as they need to be supported, and that they are able to reach their full potential because we have given them that support. In final year then, we focus on leadership and kind of taking that next step from being an educator and moving on to being a room leader or a manager, or even going on to start your own setting. So we focus on making sure that you build all of that information together and you're able to take that and put it into practice. During final year, we also take up specialism. That specialism can be in special needs, it can be in leadership and management, or it can have a focus on the Irish language. Typically, a week in this course is about 4 days a week in class, in lectures on the St. Patrick's campus, which you can see in the picture behind, and there will be 1 day of independent study. So you do 6 to 7 modules in the first semester, and they spread these 6 or 7 modules across the 4 days of the week. And then the last day is for you to go to the library, go through, do assignments, do project work, and make sure that everything kind of gets done. It gives you that day of independent study to decide what you want to work on that day. And then in semester 2, we go on our placements. Our placements are quite long. We want to get in as much hours as we can to try and build that experience. So when you go out into the workforce, you're completely set to go. It's not brand new to you. So we would spend typically one day doing classes in semester 2, and the other 4 days would be spent on placement. So you can see there's a big focus there on making sure we get a lot of placement in second semester. So an example of the modules that you would cover in first year, there's 7 in semester 1, child development, creativity and art, national frameworks in Ireland, wellbeing, health and nutrition, child protection legal frameworks, issues in professional learning and practice, and critical studies in EC1. If you go online onto the DCU website and go to this the courses page, you can individually go through all of those and get a better understanding of what's involved in all of them. If there's one in particular you want to get a little more information on, that's the best place to go for that. And you can see then in semester 2 that there's a lot less to try and cover, because we have professional practice, which is your placement time, which is that 4 days a week. And then you'd have creativity with music, and play and learning would be the 2 modules you would cover in your 1 day on campus in classes. So that's just a little idea of what kind of you would cover in a typical year for first years. So myself, I chose DCU to do this Bachelor of Early Childhood Education because I really liked that the course was quite small. We only have about 60 people in a year group, which compared to some other courses is very small. I know other courses in the university can be up to 400 or 500. So having a year group of only 60 makes it really easy to get to know everyone in your year. It can make it a really supportive class then, because you can go, you can ask questions. It's not quite as daunting to put up your hand in a classroom. There's only 60 of you, not 500. And it means that you get to develop a really good relationship with the lecturers themselves. By the time you're in second or third year, most of the lecturers will know everyone by name. It's really, really nice. You can just go up, you can have a chat with them. They're more than happy to help. It's a really, really nice space to learn, and it's a really, really supportive space as well. I also really liked that we got a lot of time on placement. So overall, it's about 25% or a quarter of the course you spend actually in a placement setting. So there's so much experience you gain from that. And by the time that you're finished, it gives you a really, really good standing on kind of where you would like to go once you've gotten your degree, because obviously you're going to go into a career afterwards. So this gives you a chance to try out different careers and see what really interests you before you commit to taking on that job after final year. One of the other big things that I really liked about the DCU course is that in third year you have the option of Erasmus for this course. So Erasmus is when you spend a semester abroad. I personally spent my semester abroad in Belgium last year, and it was one of the best experiences I've had in university. This course also gives you a lot of transferable knowledge. So you can take a lot of these things and go in and bring them into other careers. So if you choose, you can take a lot of your child development knowledge, you can bring it into primary teaching if you choose to go on and do that course. You can also take a lot of the management skills and you can bring that to HR if you choose to do something else. Excuse me. And you can also take all of these skills across the board and bring them into lots of different jobs within the ECE sector as well. DCU also just has a really nice university life. You can see here, this is my trampoline team within the university, and we get to go away to Scotland every year to do a competition. You get to meet people in other universities who are interested in the same things as you. And if trampolining isn't for you, there's also lots of other clubs and SOCs that you can join as well. So after you've graduated from the BCE course, there's a load of different career options available to you. You don't have to stay within this sector. You can go on to do special needs work. If you choose that specialism in special needs, maybe you choose to go on and do that afterwards. You can also stick mainly to what the course is aimed for. So you can be an early childhood educator, Montessori teacher. You can go on and be a room leader in an early childhood setting. You can be the owner of an early childhood setting if you so wish. And you can also work in policy. So you can go on and work with TUSLA, you can work with the Department of Education and Skills, you can work with voluntary organisations like Bernardo's. There's a lot of different options within the sector if you don't want to be just an educator, or if that's what you would like to do, this is the perfect starter for you to go straight into that setting. And then if you choose to go on and do a master's degree, there's also a lot of options open to you. So you can move on and you can do speech and language therapy, you can do child psychology, you can do play therapy, and you can also go on to do a PME for primary school teaching. So this course is based on the St. Patrick's campus. You won't really have any classes on the Glasnevin campus, but you are still free to use all of those facilities. On the St. Patrick's campus itself, it's really accessible. There's excuse me. There are a lot of buses, trains, everything in the area. It is really easy to get to. There are also buses if you live a little further outside of Dublin that commute in. I personally commute in. I get the bus from Drogheda in to the St. Patrick's campus every day, and it's very, very easy to get to. There are a lot of facilities on the St. Patrick's campus. We have a beautiful library that you can see down in the bottom corner. It is full of glass. It's really bright. It's a really, really nice space to study in. You can borrow books from the library, so you don't need to buy too many textbooks. There's also a lot of ebooks that you can access online through the library website. And there's lots of other different resources that you will find in the library that you may need throughout your degree, such as children's books that you can borrow to bring on placement, and other resources that you can bring on placement as well. Within the St. Patrick's campus, you also have different places to eat. So you can go to Starbucks. There is a canteen on campus. There is the Java, which is a student cafe. There are also shops on campus and shops across the road. It's a very lively campus. There's lots of places to sit down, socialise with people. There's also an auditorium and a sports hall, and there is a gym on campus as well. So if you are living on campus in accommodation, there is a gym on campus. You don't need to travel to go and find one if that's what you'd like to do. And the Glasnevin campus also has some other facilities. They have the U building, which is a big student-centered building. Lots of seats and other workshops and stuff go on in that building. They also have New Bar, which is a restaurant on site on the Glasnevin campus. And the sports complex has a bigger gym than the St. Patrick's campus does. And a lot of the sports societies go on in the sports campus. If you choose to join DCU, there are also lots of supports available for students themselves. If you are struggling, or if you're finding some of your classes difficult in first year or even beyond first year, you can speak to your lecturers. There are lots of different people you can go talk to. Your year head, class reps are people within your class that are nominated to represent you to your board of your course. And then you can also speak to the Students' Union, who will help you with any issues that you, if you are having any. And there are also lots of academic supports. If you are struggling with doing assignments, there are always classes going on how to write assignments, how to find things in the library. There's classes on nearly everything that you can find. If you need supports for academic assignments, there are also other supports that are not academic at all. In the Student Support and Development, they can help if you are having any issues with accommodation, if you're having financial difficulties, you can talk to them, and they are really, really helpful, and they're always happy to jump in if there's an issue that they can help you. So if anyone has any questions and they'd like to ask them now, I'd be really happy to answer any of them. Or again, if you would prefer to ask me privately, you can send me a message on Unibuddy. My link is in the live chat beside the screen you're viewing, and I would be happy to answer any of them as well.